So who's Jethro? So we go into chapter 18 here.
Moses' father-in-law.
Yeah, it tells you right there in the verse. He had a different name before.
Yeah.
Um, I've forgotten it now, but I forgot. Keep it in Exodus.
Are we looking for a different name for Jethro?
Yeah, he had a different name in one of the earlier chapters. I think if I search for priest of Midian, I'll get it. Ruel. So he's called Ruel in chapter 2, and then later on he's Jethro. He's also called Hobab. Maybe it's not in I'm not sure if Hobab is maybe his son, the son of Raguel the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law. All right, so is his name Raguel or is it Hobab? Anyway, you got these different names, and it always makes studying the Bible a little challenging as you're trying to figure out who's this guy. Oh, you know who he is. No, do I? Like Peter, Simon, and Cephas, right? All right,
Yep.
we'll go on with chapter 18, verse 1. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for the people of Israel, and that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, and her two sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. And the name of the other was Eleazar, for the God of my father, said he, was mine help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moses in the wilderness where he encamped at the mount of God. And he said unto Moses, I thy father-in-law Jethro am come unto thee, and thy wife and her two sons with her. So I was waiting to get to the end of a sentence. This is like Paul. This sentence is, 6 verses long. Um, the thing I wanted to highlight, and I did this back when we first got into Exodus, Jethro is called the priest of Midian. Well, where's this priest coming from? He's not descended from Aaron. He's not of the Levitical priesthood. Just like Melchizedek was a priest back in the time of Abraham, you have some people that know who the true God is. And if I remember, Midian is descended from Abraham through Keturah. So it's no wonder that Jethro, I'll just say some people know who the true God is because some of them have probably stayed in alignment with what Abraham has passed down. But see, he's not in the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's in the line of Abraham, Keturah, through Keturah, Midian. So he's not part of this covenant, yet he still worships the true God. And I'm not quite sure what he does and how he does it. But just like before the law was given, you have people in Genesis doing rites and rituals and knowing what clean and unclean is. Even though they don't have a written law, they know some things. So I just find that intriguing. This guy knows who Israel's God is because he's the same God over Jethro. It's just God's going to do something greater with Israel than he's doing through anyone else. All right. Verse 7. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law and did obeisance and kissed him, and they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how the Lord delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced in all the goodness which the Lord had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be the Lord, who hath delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who hath delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, For in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. Now, I find that intriguing. Did he not know that already? Or is he just not witness? And I think people would say that. How can God be your God if your people are in bondage? Well, he's allowing that, but he showed himself greater than the other gods as he brought them out. And of course, God's waiting for his own timing, and he's he's demonstrating things, not just acting willy-nilly. But I guess it could be such that how can your people be in bondage? Aren't you the God that's greater than all gods? And he says, now I know that. So that's just my little opinion. Verse 12, and Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God. And Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And I say, people say, I can't wait to talk to Jesus. I'm going to say, it's going to be like that. You're going to have to get in line.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying you're going to complain, but there's a bunch of people that want to talk to him. And what people will say is, we'll see in the spirit realm, he's going to talk to everybody at the same time. And I'll say, scripture. So I don't know. You can view it however you want, but I don't think we're all going to be running up to Jesus anytime we want. All right. Verse 15. And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of God, when they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of God and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away both thou and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice, and I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto God. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moses, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. Now, I've actually heard someone say, yeah, Moses shouldn't have listened to this guy. Why is that? And I guess the thing that you might question is, well, why didn't God tell Moses this directly? Why is it coming through Jethro? And of course, Jethro says in verse 23, if thou shalt do this thing and God command thee so, he's not telling him, well, listen to me. He's saying,
Exactly.
do this. And if God says it's a good idea, and see, I think God allows his people to participate in what he's doing. We have scripture so that we will think like God and do the things that he's doing, so that he can count on us to do the right things, which scripture is
Right.
to show us, not just I'm a puppet and God's putting the words in my mouth. These are the children of Israel, but he wants them to be grown up and to do things the right way. And so to me, this is wise counsel. The same people would say Paul should have been the 12th apostle. It's like, why don't you read all the Bible? But anyway, so I think this is a good idea, and God has allowed it to come through Jethro rather than telling Moses directly. And I'm sure Moses probably welcomed the idea. I don't have to sit here like Santa and let all the kids sit on my lap and complain about what they want. So, interesting story here, but this is going to give some structure to Israel's government. You're going to have a hierarchy, of judges, rulers, elders, whatever it might be. And I'm not
Right.
sure it says somewhere soon that there'll be 70. I don't know if that's coming up in 24, but maybe it's outside of. I guess it's in Numbers 11. And the Lord said unto Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. Anyway, the point is, uh, this is going to be formalized. Jethro had the idea, and it's going to turn into some type of hierarchy of 70 elders, and there's some over 10, some over 50s, and so forth. It's just like we have in our country. You have a federal government, state government, a county government, a city government. It's not the same thing, but it's not much different.
Yep.
All right. Any questions on all that?
It's it's a hot.
19 will be where we get into the law being given, so that'll be interesting. We'll get to take in a few chapters there, but this ended up being a good stopping place. So the people have come out, and God's done some things to show his power and provision, although the people just seem to complain nonstop. And, part of me says, well, why God wait so long for them to be thirsty? I guess he's waiting to see, are they going to come and ask in a nice way, or are they going to come in a complaining way? And they come in a complaining way, but, it's hard to know.
Mm,
I'll say we live in a gracious time, although we certainly can question why is God allowing some things and why is he working the way he is. But that's where he says, read my scripture and understand what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, because his ways above our ways. We're not going to figure it out. And it might seem foreign to us why God works the way he does. But it's, like I said, the righteous way. So, all right. Anybody, any questions, comments?
no, it's very good.
As I said, Exodus is quite interesting. It will get, after we get past the law, it'll get a little monotonous as we go through the stuff of the tabernacle. It seems to be like multiple times, but a lot of good doctrine in those chapters as well.